Hey guys, welcome back to Draw Long Doodles with Walker. Today we're going to make a hound dog that is howling. Who knows? He could be howling at a car, he might be howling at the moon, he could be doing a lot of things. But if you've ever had a hound dog, you'll know that is one of their favorite activities. So it doesn't really matter which way you turn your paper today because he's kind of a small drawing. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get the big shape for his body. So it's going to look kind of like a sloppy J almost. All right, so I'm going to start, and it's coming up, and then I'm going to come down and around. Okay, now the next thing I can do is I can get the tip of his nose. So I'm going to take that sloppy J up a little bit and round it, and then I'm going to angle slightly out. So in the same way that a candy corn gets wider, that's going to get a little bit wider. All right, now I'm going to go down a little bit more. And then we'll go, whoop, too fast. Down and back. So it's a nice curve. It's almost like you're doing part of an infinity shape. Okay, now that we've got this, let's go in and add his legs. So that way we can have it be a finished shape down here. So we're going to go a little bit further. Then we're going to come and go out. You're coming out to about the middle of that bottom. Then you're going to curve up, come in until you hit the curve, and then we're going to come and make his leg where he's bending his knee. So out and in. All right, there's your first part. Now we're going to make the leg that's behind, so it's the other back leg. We're going to start a little bit up because remember, anything that's behind is also a little bit further up the page as you're progressing. All right, so I've made that curve for the bottom of his foot. And I'll let it stick out a little bit further because he's kind of turned. And there we go. And his bottom is going to cover up that back of the leg. All right, we'll add his tail. I like to come from where I've already started the leg, so it's a continuous line. You may have a different plan, which is fine. But a good thing to just kind of be aware of is where that line came from. Ooh, that looks a little bit like a cat tail. I'm going to make it a little bit thicker. Okay, now he needs his front legs. So we're going to make the one he's holding down first. So I'm coming down from the straight part of that arch. And then I'm going to come and make a line that's coming kind of triangularly. And you want it to be about the same height when it hits the ground as the back leg because they're in the same place on the same side of the body. So I'll come out, curve right here, and in. All right, there's his foot that's holding him up. Now we're going to do the one that he's kind of got his paw up and he's holding off the ground. So this one is going to angle ever so slightly back. So there would be totally vertical. It's just a little bit to the left. Then we'll get the top part of that leg. There we go. Now we're going to come and make it come out to where it touches. Out, and we're going to let it go not quite as far, but pretty close. And then we're going to let his paw, because he's picking it up, he's not standing on it, we're going to let his paw droop down. Now, in order to help myself out, one of the things I'm going to do is just come and erase the line inside that paw and the line in between the tail and the bottom so that I know when I'm sharpieing that I don't need to get that. And if you drew this back further than what you needed, you can always come in and erase that a little bit too. And I'm actually going to get rid of a little bit of that crossing line right there. All right. Now we need to make the part that will be his face and his ears. So we're going to come right here Make a little U a little bit below the top. Curve it out until it hits a side. Curve it out until it hits a side. All right, we're going to do his nose. So there's one. We're going to come over here and we're going to do it again. Bump. Now, because his head is tilted back, we don't see his eyes or the front of his head. We're going to see his ears. So down a little bit from the nose. We're going to make his big floppy ears. And I'll let him come and merge in with the back right there. So you're not going to see the full shape independently. You're just going to see that part flopping back. And then I'll come and get this one. Remember, I'm starting a little bit down from the nose. And it's really a teardrop shape. You can kind of angle it further outwards if you think his ear would be blowing in the wind, or you can have it more inwards. I'm going to make a little indentation so that it's clear to me where the kind of fur turns into the skin where there's not as much fur. Now, if you wanted, you could go and put spots on the dog. If you felt like, oh, his booty's a little bit too big, then you could come and you could lengthen him out and make him a little bit skinnier. Either way, because once you at least have it on the paper, you can make adjustments. All right, time to Sharpie. All right, the thing furthest to the front is this foot and the other foot. So I will go ahead and Sharpie them. Now remember, it's good Sharpie hygiene to put your Sharpie cap on when you finish with it, even if you're going to draw something in just a little bit. It is a good choice to put that cap back on. All right, now I'm going to come up and I'm going to go over the nose. I'm going to come down on this side. And come down there. All right. I'm going to color in that nose because a Sharpie black is just a nice, solid look. Then I'm going to come and get around his ears. I'm going to get them in line for his mouth where it separates out. Okay. Now the last two things I have are his back legs. 1 and 2. All right. I do have those places where I separated out the inside folds of his ear. I'm just going to get those with my pen, or you can use a thin Sharpie. But they're not the most important lines. Those are really details that you want people to see second. You want it to see after they've put the rest of the shape together. So a thinner line is a better choice. All right, guys, you are ready to erase and add color. We'll see you again later.